It's no secret we're suckers for a KSwap Civic, but we may have the very first KSwap Suzuki Swift in the world right here. So we are here at KTune with our buddy Kevin Stittle, who you may remember from our Swift track test video. You're a YouTube sensation now, Kevin, and you used to have a 1.3 liter Swift motor in here that was in there when we tried it.
Yep.
And it was maxed out at about 130, 140 at the wheel.
Yeah, the most we ever made with a Swift motor was on the dyno was 154 to the wheel.
Wow.
There's a forum in Australia that's Redline GTI, which is sort of like probably the biggest online forum for Suzuki Swift.
Yeah.
They've got a dyno page. Everyone posts up their dyno sheets and,
Yep.
and the results. And 154 was the most powerful NA motor on the forum.
So there you go, the most powerful NA 1.3 ever built, possibly.
Well,
we like going for these records. We like inventing records here at Speed Academy.
Sure.
So now you have not the most powerful K20 in the world. It's actually a stock K20, but it fits in here amazingly well.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Chris from CarFab did a great job of making some mounts, and we did get it to fit in there. It's really close on the frame rails.
Yeah, it is tight.
Front and back, it's okay. We've had to do a little bit of clearance on the upper rad support. Not much.
With the long RDC
yeah,
manifold.
that's with the biggest manifold too.
Yeah.
So
and
it does fit.
And the back, you have a lot of space.
Yeah, he mounted the motor just so that the headers bolt up nicely and the routing's fine and there's clearance and it's not interfering with anything. He had to redo some of the bottom bracing, but other than that, it's pretty good to go.
Yeah, he did a really nice job with the mounts. And we're here at KTune because with any KSwap, there's a lot of customization that has to happen, and
Yep.
why not come to our local Canadian hero to help us figure out how to plumb this thing, figure out what header's going to fit,
Yeah, absolutely.
shifter box, all that good stuff.
So one of the big motivating factors behind going to the Honda motor was just for some more aftermarket support.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to have someone local that has so much development into the motor and into the platform that you can just come here and basically outfit it and any sort of different variants that you need in some of the parts, they have it, or they can make it, or they've already been thinking about it, and a lot of stuff that people have already had the headaches of going through to figure out, which is what I was going through with the Swift motor.
A lot of development.
A lot of my own development, and we got, we had a lot of success with the Swift motor, but we really took it kind of as far as we felt we could.
It's time to step it up. So you're going from 150 to 230?
Well, 150 was like our max.
That was
on
your
the
dream
dyno.
number.
Yeah, we were really running it between probably 130 and 140,
Right.
to be honest about it.
So with a stock K20, we're adding 100 wheel horsepower.
Yeah,
somewhere in
that's
that
the goal,
neighborhood.
yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
And this will solve your reliability issues. I mean, this thing will probably last you 5 seasons instead of 5 minutes.
In some cases, yeah, it was 5 minutes.
So
but hopefully those days are behind us, and we're on to more power, more reliability for sure.
Cool. Well, let's bring John in and we'll talk a bit about some of the, I said a boot, that's very Canadian of me. We'll talk about some of the KTune goodies. So this is John, the KTune man himself, the brains behind this operation, the mad scientist who cooks up all this cool stuff. John, why do you do this?
Just a passion.
Yes.
And it's just easy to work with a good motor, good reliable motor, which is the K series.
Yeah.
When Honda went from their B series to their K series, we thought, you know what, it's over. You know what I mean? They screwed everything up now. And clearly they did for us for a couple of years. Yeah, I know, they just like, we're really gonna mess with them.
Yeah.
Right? And anyways, since about 2005, we started playing with it. And we just, for guys to be able to put this motor in the older style chassis, they needed to be able to basically come up with a bunch of ways, like, how are we going to get coolant this way, or how are we going to get, how are we going to be able to fit the motor in with like a pulley system that's, trying to get into the headlight. Multiple different ways. Fuel was a problem, shifting was a problem. So there was just so much opportunity to make parts.
Yeah.
And that's what we started doing, was just making parts to help friends and then turn it into a business.
So your first product, I think, was the coolant block-off plate?
Water block-off plate, which we helped out one of our drag racers that basically said to us, I don't want to run a water pump, I want to run an electric water pump.
Right.
So we had to get rid of that, and he goes, but I want to run an alternator. So the water pump held the alternator, so that's how we came up with the first part.
Gotcha. And from there it snowballed into a pretty big operation.
Yeah, we got about 400 part numbers now.
So with this first ever Mark II K20 Swift, what goodies of yours are we using?
Again, he's using our pulley kit. which, you know, when we talked to him, we spoke to him, how much clearance do you have, you know, where you're gonna have an issue. Pulley system is usually the first problem because it keeps you from being able to push the motor forward, which he needs some space here.
Yeah.
From there is you go right to coolant.
Right.
You know, and basically, you know, how the coolant's going to get to the radiator, out of the radiator, back into the motor. So that's taken care of. And then from there is usually fuel. That's pretty simple. We have so many different components to make that work. And then headers. We offer, I think, 5 or 6 different headers.
Right.
So we kind of gave him a header and said, you know, when you make your mounts, work around this header. And then, you know, it'll just make life a lot easier.
Yeah, and it fits amazingly well.
Yeah, no, he was able to put an RVC on there. We gave him just a manifold that was kicking around just for jigging up.
Yeah.
But you know, best bang for the buck. It's an OEM part. It works and it makes power. So he was able to squeeze it in there. And
I love that work you did on for the throttle body sound.
yeah, so we did. This is one of our test parts. This is actually our first one that we ever did, where we have an oval port, where we take the round port and we ovalize it. We cut out the original idle air control valve pocket on the bottom, opening it right up, and we take an 80 mil throttle body and oval it down to equivalent size of 80 mil on the throttle body, which stock it comes with 62 millimeter.
And you were saying even on a internally stock motor, it picked up a bunch
Fully
of power.
tuned car, take the stock throttle body off, a 70 mil, take a 70 mil off,
Yeah.
and put 80 mil. We picked up 3 horse in the top and tons of power in the mid range, and we were still able to maintain a 900 RPM idle, which is hard on a big throttle body.
Absolutely.
And idle air control valve works like stock.
Amazing.
So.
And of course, we've got your ship cables in here, which means we're going to your ship box.
Yeah, well actually these are a set of OEM cables because we're trying to figure out what lengths we have to work with.
Okay.
So we threw in a set of OE 8th gen cables with some bushings that we make.
Those are your bushings, okay.
Just to kind of find out where we're going.
Yep.
And there we have it mounted to our TSX / 8th gen Civic. We've made that shifter so it works with a couple different option cables, which in this case it worked.
Yeah.
You know, because he needs that. You know, we got a really short car in the front, so to run a big cable, you can't really wind it up because it makes the shifting a lot harder.
Right.
So he's going to run our we call it our TSX box, which is a nice box. It works good, and it's just. You know, Honda does come out with a good box, but it's a grocery getter. You know, it's plastic, it's just made to shift gears and that's it.
Yeah, I broke mine pretty fast.
Yeah, exactly. The minute you get in there and start banging gears, you know, they break.
They do.
They don't last, right? And then you start hurting the train.
Awesome.
Yeah. We have a lot of, again, from where we started back in the 90s, of, you know, well, we started in a way that we started from the ground up, basically cleaning cars all the way to building cars.
Yeah.
But by building cars, we did learn a lot over the years of, you know, putting a motor in a car that shouldn't be there, or changing the angle to get better shaft angle, you know, which is horsepower loss.
Yeah.
To know the main things you got to get right away. Everything else is easy. You run a coolant line, cheat here, cheat there, it's not a big deal. Right. You know, well, mind you, don't want to run a fuel line over top of a header. No. Right. But, you know, most of the stuff is, you know, pretty basic once you get those things out of the way.
Well, it's pretty exciting to see this in the engine bay, and man, there's still lots of work left to do, so we will have a follow-up video probably before we track test this thing in the spring, at which point we're going to destroy Honda hopes and dreams. Sorry about that, but you know, it's a lighter car with the best motor, best 4-banger in the world probably. So yeah, man, excited to get this thing out on the track. Until then, we'll see you soon. Thanks, John.
Thanks.